Action.
So I kind of got lost in it.
I see. Hey guys, welcome to this next episode of the Breaking and Entering podcast.
I'm Blair.
I'm Enoch. As you just saw, my friend here is just a little bit of a musician. He loves playing guitar.
Very slightly.
You haven't heard him sing yet, though. That's where the real talent comes in at, you know.
I'm better at singing.
You're a pretty good singer, man. You really are.
Okay, cool.
I'm not just saying that because we're friends.
I appreciate it.
So we thought it would be a fitting one. Me and Blair both have a great love of music.
No doubt.
And we thought it would be a fitting episode to do would be storytelling through music.
Yes. So I mean, that's kind of like what we talk about with movies anyway, is
Mm-hmm.
storytelling and what we get from it. So
Exactly.
I think music is kind of similar. It's like...
I would say it's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same. It's just
Okay.
a different medium.
Yeah.
I'm telling it. I think the
can see
best songs have the best stories, and our favorite songs are definitely the ones that we relate to them.
Right.
You know,
So the ones that like are the classics, the one that like keeps being passed down through generations. That like have a story that really resonates with who we are.
Exactly. I'm telling you, man. Billie Jean, she's not my lover. It just resonates in me, man. So yes, what's your favorite song
My favorite song of all time.
of all time?
It's definitely "It's Been a While" by Stained.
Okay, why?
So I don't know. I think that the way I look at music maybe slightly different from other people, and that is part of like how I look at humans, and that humans are very dysfunctional. I see like
Statement there.
yeah. I see example upon it, like every day that I'm in the world,
Mm-hmm.
seeing, talking. But I think part of what makes my view that unique is that I view that dysfunction like as having beauty to it. And so "It's Been a While" it's a song that is kind of about this man that has gone like through addiction, and he knows that he's hurt people in his life, and I think specifically the song is kind of referring to one person, one like woman that he really loved, but in the process of his addiction, he like caused great pain towards, and I think it's like him saying like, I'm working on myself, my values are changing, or at least like my behavior is changing for the values I always had, but didn't necessarily like show that, and saying that like, I remember you through this, and you like just the memory of you is part of what's helping me get through this. I think that's extremely powerful. So that's why it's my favorite song of all time.
Great answer, sir. It's definitely on a few of my playlists because of you. Like you're the one who put me on to that song. So
Gotcha.
yeah, thank you. I say my favorite song.
Yeah. What is Enoch Keith's favorite song?
It's a tie for me.
Yeah.
It's a tie for me. And
Okay.
these two songs kind of showcase my full dichotomy of, knowing Enoch, or at least in my opinion, do.
Okay.
So on the left side, it would be Michael Jackson's "Do You Remember the Time?" Like, first of all, if you guys do not know, I'm really a hopeless romantic. Like, underline the word
By now.
hopeless.
Yeah. Wait, we are very hopeless.
Yes,
That's
we
true.
are. Very, very much so. So it's very nostalgic. He's looking back at a time. Do you remember the time he's remembered this great love? The video is people don't want to say Thriller is his favorite.
His videos are amazing.
His videos, hands down, greatest. People want to say Thriller though is his best video. To me, it's Do You Remember the Time? I mean, I just thought it was well done. It was done by one of my favorite directors, John Singleton. So Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Rosewood, Higher Learning. Yeah, some of my favorite movies. So and he did that video. So I add that to the list. So Hopeless Romantic Enoch loves to listen to that song. And then second one would be, actually I would say it's a lesser known Tupac song. It's called Pain.
Okay.
Yeah,
I listened to it.
Yeah, because you told me your favorite Tupac song was Changes, which
is a stereotypical Tupac song.
I mean, it's a great song though. I mean,
it's an amazing
song. I mean, it's definitely probably his most
renowned
song.
Yeah,
it's his masterpiece probably for songs. I mean, debatable, but
like Atlas Shrugged for Ayn Rand.
No, not at all. But
that's a conversation for a different time.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have one on books.
Fair. But in Pain, it was on the Above the Rim soundtrack, which really phenomenal movie. Loved it, like 1993. But Pain it's just, first of all, it's about like not understanding a person. It's not understanding the pain that this person goes through, and because of that not understanding, he's gonna pretty much take whatever means to make his own happiness. So I really think it's just a great song. I just feel that song every single time it comes in. The story is just it's dysfunction, it's losslessness, it's lawlessness, but it's all in this like directed beauty of life and how we can like live like almost through the pain, even though there's not necessarily an answer to that that question, but it's just really bringing up the idea of how you do it. So it's a really great song. Like, it's hard to find too. It's not like you can YouTube Pain from Tupac, but like, I never could find it on Apple Music or Tidal or any none of those. Yeah. I
guess it's good that my base search is always on YouTube anyway.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things, And it starts off with a great Star Trek quote, so. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a great song. So yes, music through storytelling. So when you think of a good story, what's a good story to you? What's a story that resonates with you?
Something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
So I was gonna say everything, but actually, not really. Not really. A lot of things just have a beginning and then don't end well.
That's true.
It's true. All the stuff I've been binging since you've been in this pandemic.
Like Game of Thrones, right? That doesn't have an ending. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
No, it hasn't.
Anyways.
It has just shit the bed. That's what it has. Sorry.
That was a tangent. We will retract.
So story. What do you consider a good story to you?
It's kind of like life, where a person has a drive or something, and they face challenges and obstacles upon that passion that they have to go through. And sometimes they, like Rocky would say, you get knocked down, and the strength of who you are is defined by you getting back up. And I think when it's about that passion, then that's your drive of getting back up, and then it's being willing to go through those obstacles, even if at the end of the day you never reach that point. That's a good story to me.
Okay, so what's an example of that for you?
Oh boy. Like a story in itself, or a song that has that?
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Let me think. So the song that I thought of was actually 100 Years by Five for Fighting. And I think the obstacle in that song is subtle. So, have you heard it?
Not recently.
Okay, so 100 Years is about basically this person that's like going through these different ages of life, and along the way there's like many like MINI obstacles.
Okay.
That like you're getting through as you're like going through life, and then 65, you're like kind of nearing the end, and then you're at 100, and then you're done.
Yeah. Even if you're not done.
Yeah, exactly. I think the meaning of that song is, I guess it's twofold. It's that like as you go through life, your priorities change, and because your priorities are changing, the different challenges that you have change based on those priorities. Okay. Like, because each one is mentioned like teenager, like love and friends are like the biggest thing on your mind, and nothing else really matters, right?
Yeah.
The world be damned.
Yeah.
And then like 20s, 30s, I'm still kind of looking for love, but that's just me.
The hopeless part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Or like creating a family at that point. It's not like just finding love. It's also like raising your own family, or like going. Depending for us, like that's not our story right now. So go like for your passions, and then like as you continue getting older, it's like actually being a mentor for these people. Like you're 65, you're supposed to be wise.
Supposed to.
That's yes.
Supposed.
Yes, I said that for a reason. And then at the end of your life, I think it's about like just reflecting upon like what you've done and your legacy that you've left for the world. And I think the meta obstacle is age, because at some point, I don't know, I realized that at a young age, really like 18 or 19, that time was starting to go by faster. And it kind of scared me a little bit, because like at that age, like, well, you're still pretty young, so it doesn't really matter that much. But after you hit 30s, 40s, like in a blink, and then 65 is not that. Yeah, it's not that far. And I think it's learning to appreciate these times in your life, because it's about focusing on the present and enjoying what's there, which is a huge obstacle for a lot of us.
Maybe that's why time goes by so fast. I think, okay, we can remember like being a child, recess. Recess lasted forever.
Yes, it did.
Like, and it was only 30 minutes. But I can remember getting like 6 football games in, like jumping rope, like, have talked to several different people, full-fledged conversations. And this was all in the midst of 30 minutes. But it was like you were worried just about that moment. You didn't care what was yesterday. You didn't care what was tomorrow.
Right.
And as you get older, what ends up happening is you care so much about what yesterday was, because it's your problems are usually faced by what's yesterday, and then you care so much about what tomorrow is going, because your future problems are coming, so you're never here.
Right.
So time just passes you by because you're never just right here in that moment. So I feel like maybe I don't know. That's philosophical at its best. So
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I like it though. All right, so that's a good story for you. So that's a good story for a song. If I had to say my favorite story in a song is J. Cole's "Wet Dreams."
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yes. So good.
So good. So if you have not listened to the song, I'm about to ruin it for you. So it's, I remember I had this one dude when we were at Georgia Tech. He said he thought it was very perverse, per se, because it's about a guy losing his virginity, and he's talking about losing his virginity. And he thought the way he put it was so perverse, and I just thought, you didn't get it. Because he's literally, so the entire time, there's this girl, and he's, talking with her. And she's like pretty much saying that, okay, hey, my parents want me home this weekend, like, we can have sex.
Right.
And she's thinking that, like, he's had sex before. And so, she's like, hey, I'm excited. She's excited. So he's like, oh, buddy, like, he's nervous. He's like, he's watching videos of practice and all this kind of stuff. And he's like trying to make it believable that I've done this before, And so then when the moment comes and he's like, hey, this is it. She's like, oh my God, I can tell you're a pro, but can you be gentle because I'm a virgin?
Right.
So it's like the beauty is that we're losing it together.
Right.
And it's like you didn't have to be all that. You didn't have to put on this mask of this person. You could have just been in the moment with her, and it was such a nice twist in the song. It was like, J. Cole's good at that though. He's good at making a good twist in the song.
Yes.
So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. No, I think that's amazing. I think we put too much pressure on ourselves in relationships. Like a lot of times, we like try to put an image of something that we're not really. And I think that if we honestly looked at the other person as who they really were, then we maybe would stop trying to look at her, like have them see ourselves as something that we're not.
That's a whole podcast in itself.
That is.
It's on the way.
One that I'm not prepared for.
Fair. So, what do you think makes us look at music as the medium to hear stories over another medium, as opposed to like a book or a film or a television show?
Attention span.
Fair. It's fair.
Timing, right? Also, just when I play, right, versus or all of those give me different emotions, right? And I think that if you look within yourself, you can kind of really find different emotions with each of those as well. And I mean, that's the beauty of music, is being able to compose something that is different because you have different sounds that you're putting together in a way that they haven't necessarily been heard before. And I mean, there's been like scientific studies on this, that if you're like listening to metal music, then you're more likely to have tachycardia, tachypnea, which is high heart rate and high breathing rate. And you're more likely to be angry, which kind of makes sense because it's literally ramping your sympathetic system up. And then there's like other songs when you're sad that you listen to, and is it that you listen to them because you're sad, or is that you're sad because you're listening to them? It's probably chicken and egg. Yeah, but I don't know. The point of it to me is that, you know, music can guide emotions, and then when you put lyrics on top of that, you can put a message with those emotions, and it's kind of like the best meme in the world, right? It's kind of like the meme, you like communicating emotion with like, and possibly like an icon, right? With a message with it, and then but music, I think music hits soul deep, you know. The combination of the sound that an instrument can make, and then what you make your instrument say.
And just from the audience, just like what you're going through, like as I've gotten older, the most beautiful thing about music is it can put me back in a younger state of mind. You put me back in like literally, if I want to know what's 16, I go back to the 16-year-old music that I love, and it's like, like I can remember like
happiness.
Yes, that too. But it's like, you know, like I remember a song came on the other day. It was Rihanna's "Unfaithful," and in 8th grade I dealt with my first unfaithful female. Did I not know that would be a recurring theme in my life? But
you never did.
But I definitely dealt with that, and like literally hearing that song, and I guess I haven't heard it for years, but just hearing that piano, and it's like the initial, you know, piano chords being hit, and it's like I was back in that 8th grade, like sad, like feeling that heartbreak again, and I was like, you need to skip past this song. I'm in a good mood right now. But then I like listened to it, and I was like, oh man, that was so pure. It was you know, so it's music. It has this question mark that just can never be answered. Like, I don't think any of us like know why it's so beautiful. We just know why it's beautiful.
I love it. Yeah. So not to geek out, but there was another study, right, of like people in their like 70s to 90s, and they were at like an assisted living or whatever, and they started playing songs from their youth. Like round the clock, and they started like having less pain. They started like actually getting healthier, like blood tests, stuff like that. So like it really, music can take you to a completely different place and impact you in a way that maybe we don't even understand yet.
Will we ever understand it?
I hope not. Maybe that would take some of the beauty out of it if we fully understood
it.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's almost like, to a certain extent, everything we go through is mental.
Well, yeah.
Like, so really, like, the pain aches, not that they're not real, but it's like the way, if we feel those pain aches or we choose to succumb to those pain aches, is really the frame of mind that we have.
Well, it's like the Matrix. Your mind makes it real, right?
Is that your movie reference for today?
Sure. I gotta slip it in there somehow.
Okay, wow. Okay, so tell me about, give me a song that you really like. It's going to be your favorite song. But I don't want to know about the song. I want to know about the moment what this song reminds you of.
Man, okay. Yeah, it's not really the one I wanted, but
but that's the one you need.
It's the one, yep. Okay, Batman. So I'm actually playing a little bit of this. All right?
What are we doing? Wonderwall?
Yep. That's it. And then I'll tell you what it means to me.
All right, put him on the spot, guys. It's live playing. I'm not cutting it. I'm not editing it.
I can play the whole song, but that would probably take up too much time. But I don't know, even just playing like that much of it puts me like in a certain mindset. So it's all about a girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how in relationships, at least in the best ones, you have your song, like the song of the relationship. And for whatever reason, this became ours. I literally have no idea. Like, I guess we heard it together once and we were like, okay. And then like literally every time we were in the song, in the car together, after that, we would listen to the song and we would sing it to the top of our lungs. And it's one of those little elements that made our relationship deeper and stronger and gave more joy to us together. And I mean, I still love the song, and I still think of her when I hear it, when I play it. And honestly, without all the bad emotions that accompanied that relationship, I feel the good ones, the ones that like I really appreciate what I learned from it. So that song takes me back to even the good times of something that I no longer have.
So as you were saying all the good times, in my mind, I could only think of bad times because of my example.
Right. Right. Okay.
Like, have you ever had somebody ruin an artist for you?
Yeah.
So it was.
Those are the worst people in the world. Okay.
She's not one of the worst people in the world. We were not right at all for each other, and never will be.
Fair.
But she loved Miguel, and actually the thing about it is like she put me onto Miguel, and I really enjoyed it. Love his stuff now, but it's like literally every single time I listen to something from him, it's like I have to like almost give honor that she's the one who brought this into my life, and it's just like, but we just did not end well at all. Like it's just wish her the best. Hope she's happy in life, but
ruin that song or ruin that artist.
Definitely, it's always like, this is great. So yeah, it's just funny how it can do that for you, like literally like an artist, and I can just associate this like subconsciously.
Yeah.
And it's just music, man. It's a power all into itself. Like I tell people, be careful with music and what you want to listen to and what you want to put in those spaces. Because like you said, are you listening to the song because you're sad, or is the song making you sad?
Right.
You know, because sometimes, you know, when we're sad, we want to go sadder.
Yes, we do.
And we know what to listen to make us go sadder.
Yeah.
You know, depressed people know what to get them in that mode. And at the same time, you know, athletes, they have their songs that get them ready and get them pumped up.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant said he listened to, seems just out there for me, but he would listen to the Halloween theme song. That got him pumped. So, you know.
Dude, I could totally see that.
Yeah, oh, wow. Yeah. But he
about to murder somebody.
Yeah, it put him in the Killer Instinct.
Yes.
And I'm like, but I would never have thought that would have been the song to like get me going. But it was a song that got him going, and you know, one of the greatest of all time. So apparently it worked. So it's funny, man. But I really love music. You really love music. With music, if you had to tell a story about your life. You had to tell a story about your life, but it only could be through song. So it's like, you know, Blair, tell me about this period of your life, and you're saying that it would be this song. What would that be? Mm-hmm.
Wait, a song that exists or a song that I would make?
Let's go with a song you would make.
Okay.
Completely different. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So I think this is like highly relevant for me right now with my hand, right?
Okay.
So I've been practicing guitar for like 3 or 4 years. But that like first year that I was practicing, I was only practicing like once every couple of months, maybe, or maybe even more between than that. But then like a year ago, I really started practicing like every day. Like I don't even want to say serious about it because that's not how I felt about it. But
got focused.
I got focused. I got passion into it, and it honestly became a part of me. Like you start kind of feeling like, well, I'm kind of a guitarist. Well, I suck at guitarist, but I'm a guitarist.
Yeah. It's not about how good you are. It's about if you actually do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about your love for it.
Yeah.
And then 2 months ago, my hand started going numb, like after practicing the guitar, which, depending on who you are, could be terrifying. For me, like with my medical knowledge and like going through differentials of what could this be, what's causing this, and what are the downstream effects of if it persists. It really kind of, my initial thought was God's taking something else I love from me, which is like a terrible thought.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes you appreciate it when you do play it, right? And then it was something else that we kind of talked about is like, if you really have a passion for something, then you never really let anything stop you from pursuing it. Whether it's like playing through my hand on this, which is probably not a good decision health-wise, or whether it's pursuing music through other means which don't require repetitive use of my hands as much, like making it through a computer or synthesizer or whatnot, or even just a harmonica, whatever, you know, you use what you have.
Yeah.
So if I was going to make a song, it would be the story of falling in love with this instrument and then having to fight for it and decide, like, is this important enough to me to continue doing it, even if in the future I'm like my body may suffer for it.
So a song really about music.
Yes.
Fair. Well, it's also what's funny about life is that, like, again, it goes back to when I said the recess moment. It's like, while all of that is real, your numbness and all that stuff, and you are Dr. Smith, so I know that you're going down the path, but you really don't know how much time you actually have. So all of those effects that will come in a year, 5 years, 10 plus years, you don't even know if you have that much time left.
No.
So it's like you're worried about time that you don't even know if you have that time.
Right.
So I'm a live in the moment, enjoy your time kind of guy, or at least I try to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what tomorrow looks like. But the only thing I do know is I've made it through everything that I've gone through so far. So far, you know, like that hard test in high school, I made it through. That hard test in college, I made it through. That hard test I had when I was first starting my job, I made it through. And so, but what I do know about each of those tests, that worry of what they would be didn't help me make it through.
Right.
At all. So
worrying about it never helps.
It never helps. So, you know, you take a break only if you want to take a break. So not because something else is telling you to take a break. And then, like you said, there are other means. Like we have a whole technology that just really makes things a lot easier for us. You know, I can imagine if this was happening in the 1960s, and it was like, Blair, you gotta just play through that.
Right. Right.
So we have a whole chance to do a lot of stuff that we weren't able to do before.
Hello.
It's okay. This is life, man. It's a podcast. People are gonna be in the background talking. It's okay.
I'm pretty sure you guys know my mom by now.
Yeah.
She's like,
we need to have our episode.
Try it. We should.
Yeah.
I would love that with my mom and my dad.
Yeah, the separate episode and then together.
Yeah. We had 3 more episodes. Yeah, dude. Their love.
They have a great love story. Like it's great love story. Great love experience. Great love life. Love your parents.
Yeah. It would be amazing if I could just have a love story like that.
It's funny. On this podcast, we've come up with ideas for at least 4 or 5 other podcasts.
I know, right?
So that's really cool, man. That's really cool that you would make a song about the love that you have for music. Like, you should do that. Call it God Took.
Call it God Took.
Yes. But then make the story that he didn't take.
Yeah.
You know, and that'll be like, twist. So, hey, be on the lookout, guys. We're gonna hold him accountable now.
It might be a few years.
Let it be. I'm trying to think. I don't even know if I can answer that question for myself. It's funny. If I had to make a song about, I think I would make. Okay, this is gonna be a little twisted. I think I would make a song about. It would be a love song, but like dysfunctional love. Dysfunctional love, but in that dysfunctional love, the story would be it being about being black in America. A dysfunctional love based upon that, like living in this place, having to deal with it, but not feeling the love that you deserve back. But still, like, to a certain extent, needing because you're in that place. And so it's traumatic. It would be toxic as hell. Like, probably would call it toxic as hell or something like that. I think that would be like, and I would make it gritty and I would make it dark and I would go there, but have a little bit of hope in there. The hope would probably be the guitar solo. I might actually make that now that I think about it.
You should.
Okay, I shall.
Toxic as hell.
So if we're going to hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
God Took and Toxic as hell. Okay, so for our movie reference, since I think it's time for a movie segment. What is a movie moment that's super impactful to you, but it's impactful because of how the music hits you?
Yeah, I think we all have those moments in mind. So for me, the image that pops up is Underworld.
Love Underworld,
dude. I love Underworld. it's a phenomenal series to me. But no, it's like there's. I can't even describe the music. It's so deep, and it's usually between Celine and Michael, right? It's some moment that they're fighting for each other, and that music just makes it it highlights it. You know, it's yes. Never someone says that's
Oh man,
it's like the post-Coke feeling.
For me, it's mine's a television show, and it's the theme song. Power. I don't know if you ever watched Power.
Gotcha.
But literally, the opening theme song say this is a big rich town. Like, it comes on, like, there are 60 episodes. And each of the episodes I either DVR'd or I watch them on a streaming platform. I can fast forward past the theme song. Even Netflix pops up, do you want to skip past the theme song?
Skip intro, yeah.
For all 60 episodes, I had to let the theme song play. It puts you literally in the moment. It could be a terrible episode, but Power was a really good series, so there was no terrible episodes. But it literally could have been a disappointing episode. It's like literally that theme song just had you giddy. Like as soon as, and then, that, I mean, I would say that's probably, if not the best theme song in television show, it's definitely top 5. Like, I'm pretty sure that took us through season 5, just theme song. It's a great theme song. So I guess this is the point where we wrap up the podcast.
Yep.
Our favorite segment of what we learned about each other. I think you've gone first for everything, so I'll see if I can go first with this one.
Fair enough.
So I think what I kind of learned from you and your musical taste, or your musical taste in stories, is there's always that underlying hope, like there. So for me, it was like, I think a lot of my stuff, it was a lot of like pain, distress.
Yep.
Like
literally what I was gonna say. Thank you for taking it.
But for you, it was always like, hope. So even when, you were speaking about a girl that meant a lot to you, and you were thinking about songs, you thought about the best memories.
Yeah.
About that, and that's really great that music does that for you, and that it brings out a more hopeful Blair. And then even thinking about like the fact that you love playing guitar, and like you might not have to play guitar, but instead of you thinking about slamming your guitar down and being mad at the world, you think about, well, what are other ways I can still keep music in my life? Or slash, I'm just gonna keep doing it anyways, and just ride this until the wheels fall off.
Right.
But there's still a hope that maybe the wheels won't fall off.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, I mean, I definitely knew you were a hopeful person, but like your music choice, bringing out that hope, that's really beautiful.
Gotcha. Appreciate that.
Sorry, I took yours.
Yeah, no, I mean, just right out from her. No, for real though. I think a lot of how you connect with music and with art is by pain, and I guess it's also like other people listening that have a similar background, they connect with that too. And so that song actually kind of connects more than just you and the song. It's like an entire audience. I don't know. You talking about that just kind of made me think about how pain is a beautiful thing. It doesn't create an emptiness really. I don't think emptiness is the right word, but I'm also struggling to find the right word. But it's powerful in that if you bring someone enough pain, they will create the most beautiful things in the world. And I mean that's how I think of you. I see you as a person of like great pain because you've told me a lot about your pain, but I also like see how much you create, and you never stop, no matter what obstacles you have. And I kind of like I learned that from you. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, buddy. Well, that was this episode of Breaking and Entering. As always, I'm Ian.
I'm Blair. Happiness, more or less, just to change me something in my liberty. Oh my. Happiness coming and going. Watch you look at me, watch the feeling going. I know just where I am. How many corners do I have to turn How many times do I have to learn all the love I have is in my mind? But I'm a lucky man. The fire in my hand. Happiness, something in my own place. I'm so naked, a smile and I feel no disgrace with who I am. Happiness coming and going. I watch you look at me, watch my feeling grow, and I know just who I am. How many corners do I have to turn? How many times do I have to learn? All the love I have is in my mind. I'm a lucky man. I hope you understand. No, 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 no. Heaven dies, happiness, more or less, just a changing me something in my liberty. Happiness coming and going. I watch you look at me, watch my feeling grow, and I know, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, got a love that never dies. Got a love that never dies. No, 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 I'm a lucky man. Something in my liberty. Really changing me something in my liberty. Just a changing me something in my liberty. Oh my.